Across our state and across this country, Republicans watched this week's Democratic National Convention, no doubt gauging the rhetoric, the enthusiasm, and the challenging task ahead. That is convincing Americans Donald Trump and the GOP offer a better way. Joining me this morning for an opportunity to make that case, Congressman Randy Weber. It's good to have you back, sir.
Thank you, Greg. Good to be here.
Okay, why should Americans vote for Donald Trump?
Well, you actually watched Kamala Harris lay out the case for why. She actually never talked about things that mattered. She talked some about the border. She talked some about it. She didn't talk any about energy or inflation. So she's actually talking about securing the border like Donald Trump did. And the question is, why didn't she do that? She's been there 3.5 years. She used Donald Trump's name more than the word inflation, economy, the border. She talked some about the border. She literally is laying out a path that Donald Trump is on. And so it's kind of interesting to watch her mimic what he's doing.
Okay, you served with Donald Trump. Do you believe he can create a better economy than we have right now? Because it used to be that was what Ann Richards used to say, a Democrat, getting down to the lick log is who can provide a better life for Americans.
Right. Well, obviously he can. He's focused on energy. As you know, Kamala and the Democrats think that fossil fuel energy is our enemy. We ought to be using it. We ought to be refining permitting process. We ought to be energy independent, energy dominant. As you know, Texas leads the nation in that. My District 14 has 7 ports. We produce a lot of energy. And for the Democrats to try to want to kill fossil fuels is pointless. And Donald Trump will get our energy back on track. We'll be energy independent, energy dominant. Listen, Greg, energy independence actually means energy security. It means national security. It means job security, family security. I could go right down the list. Trump is on that process. He also had the border secure, too. And what did Biden do? Biden Harris come in day one, and they reversed everything he was doing.
If you could sit down over a cup of coffee with folks in Georgia and Pennsylvania for like 5 minutes, what would you tell them?
Well, exactly that, and that is that we need to be focused on energy and producing more energy, and on business, dealing with our inflation problem, getting Americans back to the level where they've got some spending money, because right now, as you know, there's a lot of people in a lot of hurt. The car industry is suffering. The housing industry is suffering. Americans are suffering, and it's because of the Biden-Harris. She wants to put in price controls, for example. Don't they know from history that those don't work? President Trump had us there. He will come in. We were feared and revered around the world. Harris talked about they were friends of Israel. She's not a friend of Israel. Biden and Harris withheld arms when Israel needed it really bad. So I think when people look at what's happening geopolitical around the world and right here in the United States, Ronald Reagan had a great quote when he ran against Jimmy Carter, and that was this: "Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" And I think the American people look at the Biden-Harris, plan. They're not better off than they were 4 years ago.
Quickly, former President Trump said he believes that the slowing of crossings is temporary, that folks down south are waiting to see who wins. You agree with that?
Well, sure, and I'll tell you this real quick, Greg, if I can. When you bring in 300,000 across the border, I say bring in, they came in illegally. If 20% of those are kids, 60,000, you just brought in somewhere between 6 to 10 complete school districts. Somebody has to pay to educate. Guess who that is? It's us. We can't afford that.
Congressman, always good to have you.
Thank you, Greg.